The sky above New York City turned purple without warning. People stopped in their tracks, staring up as the clouds parted to reveal something that made their morning coffee seem suddenly unimportant. A spaceship, larger than any human structure, hung in the air like a floating city of metal and lights. Inside the United Nations building, phones rang off the hook. President Jack Murphy sat in the emergency meeting room, surrounded by generals, scientists, and advisors who all looked like they hadn't slept in days. The room smelled of stale coffee and fear. "Sir, we've confirmed it's not one of ours," said General Bill Foster, his uniform wrinkled from the rushed journey to headquarters. "It appeared out of nowhere at 600 hours. No radar detection, no warning." Murphy rubbed his tired eyes. At 52 years old, with graying hair and laugh lines around his eyes, he'd dealt with many crises. But aliens? This was new territory. "Any communication from them?" "Not yet, sir," replied Dr. Kate Rodriguez, the head of the newly formed extraterrestrial response team. Her dark hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and her white coat had coffee stains on the sleeve. "We've been broadcasting welcome messages in every language, including mathematics and binary code." The room fell silent as the massive screen on the wall flickered to life. A face appeared, but it wasn't human. The being had scales that shimmered between green and blue, 4 arms that moved independently, and eyes that glowed with an inner light. When it spoke, its voice echoed through every speaker, every phone, every device on Earth. "Humans of Earth," the alien said, its voice deep and commanding. "I am Ambassador Crixtal of the Zorthaxian Empire. Your planet has been chosen for integration into our glorious dominion. You will submit to our rule or face complete annihilation. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Resistance is futile." Murphy leaned back in his chair, a strange expression crossing his face. The generals around him tensed, waiting for orders to scramble fighters, activate defense systems, prepare for war. But Murphy did something unexpected. He laughed. "Did he just say resistance is futile?" Murphy asked, looking around the room. "Is this guy serious? Did we accidentally tune into a sci-fi movie marathon?" General Foster cleared his throat. "Sir, with all due respect, there's a ship the size of Manhattan hovering over our largest city. This isn't the time for jokes." "Bill, that's exactly why it's time for jokes," Murphy replied, standing up and straightening his tie. "Think about it. They've got the technology to travel between stars, but they're using dialogue from Star Trek. Something doesn't add up." Secretary of Defense Lisa Patel, a woman known for her sharp mind and sharper tongue, nodded slowly. "You might be onto something, Mr. President. Their technology is clearly superior, but their approach is theatrical." "Exactly," Murphy said, walking toward the communication console. "Let's see what happens when we don't follow their script." He pressed the broadcast button. "Hey there, space folks. Welcome to Earth. Quick question before we get to the whole submission thing. Do you guys practice these speeches in front of a mirror, or do they come naturally?" The alien on screen blinked all 4 of its eyes in what might have been confusion. Your response is not within acceptable parameters. You will show proper fear and respect to the Galactic Empire." "Oh, we're showing you plenty of respect," Murphy continued, winking at his staff. "That entrance was very dramatic. The purple sky, the ominous positioning over New York, really top-notch villain stuff. Did you hire a director for this, or is it all improvised?" Around the world, people watched the exchange on their screens. In coffee shops, offices, and homes, humanity held its breath. But as Murphy continued his casual banter with the alien invader, something strange happened. People started to smile, then chuckle, then laugh outright. In London, a pub full of patrons raised their glasses to the TV. In Tokyo, salary workers paused their overtime to watch the show. In Sydney, beachgoers gathered around phones, sharing the moment. Ambassador Crixtal's scales shifted to a deeper shade of blue. "This is not a performance. We are the supreme power in this galaxy. Worlds tremble at our name." Sure, Murphy said, pouring himself a glass of water. "But here's the thing about Earth. We've been scaring ourselves with alien invasion stories for over a century. We've got movies, books, video games, you name it. So when you show up with the whole kneel before us routine, it feels a bit, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, adjusting her glasses. Mr. President, if I may? Murphy nodded, and she addressed the screen. Ambassador Crickstall, I'm curious about your empire's psychological profile. This need for dramatic displays of power suggests deep-seated insecurity. Have you considered that true strength doesn't require such obvious posturing? The alien's mandibles clicked in what might have been irritation. You dare to analyze us? We who have mastered space travel while your species still burns fossil fuels? Hey now, Murphy interjected. We're working on the fossil fuel thing. Have you seen our electric cars? They're pretty neat. Some of them even drive themselves, though they occasionally mistake shopping carts for stop signs. On the Zorthaxian ship, Crickstall turned to his second-in-command, Sub-Commander Vexnor. Why are they not cowering? Our databases show that humans fear the unknown. Vexnor consulted a holographic display. Sir, it appears our cultural analysis may be outdated. Current human entertainment suggests they find humor in existential threats. Humor? Crickstall's voice rose an octave. We are not here to amuse them. Back in the UN building, Murphy was enjoying himself more than he probably should during a potential extinction event. Listen, Cricks. Can I call you Cricks? Your whole setup is impressive, really. But if you want to intimidate humans, you need to understand us better. We're the species that invented bungee jumping. We eat foods that could kill us just for the thrill. We keep animals that could eat us as pets. A big ship in the sky? That's just Tuesday for us. Around Murphy, his staff was beginning to relax. General Foster even cracked a smile. Lisa Patel was taking notes, probably planning how to weaponize sarcasm in future diplomatic encounters. You will regret this disrespect, Crickstall declared. Observe our power. The alien made a gesture, and a beam of energy shot from the ship, vaporizing an uninhabited mountain in the distance. The explosion was indeed impressive. The mountain disappeared in a flash of light, leaving only a smoking crater. But instead of screams of terror, the human response was unexpected. Ooh, nice fireworks, Murphy exclaimed. But we've been doing that since 1945. Hey, can you do different colors? Maybe spell out welcome to Earth in the sky? We could make this a whole tourism thing. Social media exploded with memes. Within minutes, someone had set the mountain explosion to music. Another person created a rating system for alien threats, giving the Zorthaxians a 710 for style but lacking originality. Crickstall's scales were now shifting through various colors like a chameleon having a breakdown. Why are you not afraid? We have weapons that can crack your planet like an egg. And we have comedians who can crack jokes that make people laugh so hard they cry. Murphy shot back. Want to trade? I'll give you our top 10 stand-up specials for the secret of faster-than-light travel. The alien commander's forearms waved, in what might have been frustration or possibly an interpretive dance about confusion. This is madness. No species has ever responded to our threats with sass, Murphy suggested helpfully. Snark? Good old-fashioned ribbing? Yeah. We humans are full of surprises. We once had a war over a bucket. True story. Look it up. As the sun moved across the sky, the standoff continued. The massive alien ship remained hovering over New York, its occupants clearly unsure how to proceed. Their carefully planned invasion, designed to inspire terror and submission, had instead become the galaxy's first comedy show. You know what? Murphy said, loosening his tie. I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Or at least a really weird sitcom. My Alien, Overlord, coming this fall to all major networks. The world watched, waited, and most importantly laughed. Humanity had faced its first contact with an alien species not with weapons or surrender, but with something far more powerful. The inability to take anything too seriously. And somewhere in the depths of space, other alien civilizations picked up the broadcast and started taking notes. The humans were different. The humans were strange. The humans were absolutely, hilariously unpredictable. Ambassador Crickstall paced back and forth on his ship's bridge, his forearms moving in agitated patterns. The curved walls displayed live feeds from Earth's media, each screen showing humans making jokes about the invasion. His scaled skin had turned a deep purple, a color his species only showed during extreme stress. "This is impossible," he muttered to his crew. "The fear protocols have never failed. Not with the Draconians, not with the Celestial Collective, not even with the warrior races of Andromeda." Sub-Commander Vex Nor approached carefully. "Sir, perhaps we should try a different approach." The humans seemed to respond oddly to our standard intimidation tactics. "Different approach?" Crixtal's voice rose. "We are the Zorthaxian Empire. We don't need different approaches, we need more fear." He turned to his weapons officer. "Target their monuments. Start with that statue in their New York harbor." Before the weapons officer could respond, a new broadcast came through from Earth. President Murphy's face appeared on screen, looking remarkably relaxed for someone whose planet was under threat of annihilation. "Hey, Crixtal, buddy. We noticed you're looking a bit stressed. Your scales are doing that color-changing thing again. Very pretty, by the way. Like a mood ring, but for your whole body. Must be handy at parties." The alien commander's scales flickered between purple and red. "How dare you mock our biological responses?" "Oh, we're not mocking," Murphy said with a grin. "We think it's neat. Actually, we've got a whole bunch of people down here who want to know if you can do specific colors on command. There's an artist in San Francisco who wants to use you as a living canvas. She promises she'll only use water-based paints." Dr. Amy Chen stepped into frame beside the president. She was the government's lead xenopsychologist. Though her actual expertise was in child psychology, the government figured it might be just as useful. "Ambassador, I've been studying your behavioral patterns and I have a theory. Would you like to hear it?" "Your primitive theories are of no interest to us," Crixtal snapped. "I think you're overcompensating," Amy continued anyway. "All this talk about conquest and domination, it sounds like someone didn't get enough hugs as a larvae. Were your parents emotionally distant? Did they spend too much time conquering other worlds and not enough time at your school plays?" The alien's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sound the translation devices interpreted as frustrated sputtering. Several crew members on the bridge tried to hide what looked suspiciously like smiles. "We don't have school plays," Crixtal shouted. "We have military training, discipline, order." "See, that's exactly what I'm talking about," Amy said, adjusting her glasses. "No creative outlets, no emotional expression. No wonder you're going around the galaxy trying to intimidate people. You're basically cosmic bullies with really advanced technology." On the bridge of the Zorthaxian ship, Navigation Officer Zixtel leaned over to whisper to Communications Officer Draknor. "She might have a point about the school plays. Remember how Commander Crixtal reacted when we suggested adding music to our invasion announcements?" "Silence!" Crixtal roared, having overheard the whisper. "We will demonstrate our power. Prepare to fire on their historical monuments." But before the order could be carried out, Murphy interrupted again. Hold on. Before you start blasting our stuff, we've got a counteroffer. How about instead of conquering Earth, you participate in our annual Global Comedy Festival? First prize is a lifetime supply of pizza and the admiration of billions. Much better than ruling over a bunch of resentful subjects, don't you think?" The weapons officer looked uncertain. "Sir, should I still target their monuments?" Crixtal hesitated. The mission had gone so far off script that he wasn't sure what the proper protocol was anymore. The Zorthaxian Empire Invasion Manual, 7th edition revised, didn't have a chapter on what to do when the target population treated you like entertainment. "Listen," Murphy continued, "we get it. You've got this whole Galactic Empire thing going on. Very impressive. But have you considered franchising instead? Earth could be like your comedy club subsidiary. We'll handle the entertainment division of your empire. Think about it. The Zorthaxian Empire, now with 50% more laughs." Dr. Sarah Peterson, one of Earth's top linguists, had been studying the alien translation patterns. She stepped forward with a tablet in hand. "Mr. President, I've been analyzing their language. Did you know their word for conquest is the same as their word for aggressive hugging? I think we might be dealing with a translation issue here." Crixtal's Scales shifted to a confused green. That's completely... How did you even figure that out? Your translation software has some interesting quirks, Sarah explained. For instance, when you say surrender or die, it's actually coming through as group hug or take a nap. We've been trying not to laugh, but it's been really hard. On Earth, the comedy clubs were having a field day. In New York City's Comedy Cellar, a comedian named Mike Torres was doing a whole set about the invasion. So these aliens show up, right? They've got 4 arms, color-changing skin, and spaceships the size of cities. And what's their master plan? They're gonna scare us into submission. Have they met humans? We invented horror movies for fun. We pay money to have people jump out and scare us in haunted houses. Some of us even marry our ex-spouses. Now that's real fear. The audience roared with laughter, and clips of the performance quickly went viral on social media. Within hours, alien comedy was trending worldwide. Back on the Zorthaxian ship, crew members were secretly watching Earth's comedy shows on their personal devices. Junior Officer Bexara tried to stifle a giggle at a particularly funny meme about their commander's ceremonial headdress looking like an upside-down fruit basket. Crixtal noticed the suppressed laughter. "What's so funny, Junior Officer?" "Nothing, sir." Bexara straightened up quickly. "Just, thinking about our glorious conquest plans." "Really?" "Because it sounded like you were laughing." "The Zorthaxian Empire does not laugh during invasions." Murphy's voice came through the comm system again. "You guys don't laugh?" "Oh man, that explains so much. No wonder you're all so grumpy. Laughter is like a massage for your soul. Here, let me tell you a joke. Why did the alien cross the galaxy?" "We are not interested in your primitive humor," Crixtal snapped. "To get to the other side." Murphy delivered the punchline anyway. "Get it? It's like the chicken joke, but space-themed." Several crew members on the bridge made sounds that were definitely not laughs but could have been mistaken for them by someone who didn't know better. Crixtal turned to his crew, his scales now a frustrated orange. "Why are you all making those strange noises? Are you ill? Do we need to activate quarantine protocols?" "No, sir," Vexnor said, trying to keep his face neutral. "We're just appreciating the humans' unusual defense strategy." Down on Earth, the United Nations had called an emergency session, but instead of panic and fear, the atmosphere was almost festive. Representatives from different countries were sharing their favorite memes about the invasion. The Japanese ambassador showed everyone an anime-style drawing of Crixtal with exaggerated features and sparkly eyes. The British representative shared a video of someone doing a proper alien invasion with tea and biscuits. The Australian delegate had created a mock tourism ad, "Visit Earth, where even our alien invasions are entertaining." Back in the command center, Dr. Rodriguez was studying the psychological impact of the event. "Mr. President, I think we've accidentally discovered a new form of planetary defense. The aliens seem genuinely confused by our lack of fear." "It's not just confusion," added General Foster, who had been monitoring the alien ship's behavior. "Their attack patterns are becoming erratic. It's like they're having an existential crisis." Murphy nodded thoughtfully. "Maybe that's the real lesson here. When faced with overwhelming force, sometimes the best defense is to refuse to play by their rules. They came here expecting fear and submission. Instead, they got stand-up comedy and memes." On the Zorthaxian ship, Crixtal slumped into his command chair, his scales now a dejected blue. "Status report on the invasion," he said weakly. Vexnor consulted his displays. "Sir, Earth's military hasn't mobilized. Their leaders are making jokes. Their population is creating entertainment content about us. And our own crew's morale is being affected. Several officers have been caught watching Earth comedy shows. This isn't how invasions are supposed to go," Crixtal muttered. "We're supposed to arrive, make threats, maybe destroy a landmark or two, and then they surrender. It's worked on 1,000 worlds." "Maybe Earth is different, sir," Vexnor suggested carefully. "Maybe we need to adapt our strategy." Crixtal looked out at the blue planet below, where billions of humans were turning his fearsome invasion into the galaxy's biggest comedy show. For the first time in his military career, he wondered if there might be more to interstellar relations then conquest and intimidation. Perhaps, he said slowly, his scales shifting to a thoughtful silver, we should hear more about this global comedy festival the humans mentioned. And in that moment, the entire bridge crew tried very hard not to smile. The next morning, Earth woke up to find the alien ship had done something unexpected. It had rearranged its position to spell out LOL in the sky. The massive warship, designed to strike terror into the hearts of entire civilizations, was now participating in internet culture. President Murphy nearly spilled his coffee when he saw the news. Did the alien invasion force just use internet slang? Dr. Chen looked at her tablet, scrolling through social media reactions. It appears so, Mr. President. Also, they've changed their ship's lights to pulse in rhythm with popular Earth music. Someone on the ship is streaming our Spotify playlists. On the Zorthaxian bridge, chaos reigned. Crixtal stood frozen, watching his crew completely ignore protocol. Navigation Officer Zixtel was teaching other crew members Earth dance moves. The weapons team had reprogrammed the targeting system to create light shows instead of destruction. Beams. What is happening to my crew? Crixtal demanded. His scales flickered through confused colors like a broken rainbow. Sub-Commander Vexnor approached carefully. Sir, it appears the humans' unusual response has affected our personnel. They've been studying Earth culture and finding it more engaging than our standard conquest procedures. Engaging? We're conquerors, not entertainers. Actually, sir, Communications Officer Draknor interrupted, our approval ratings have never been higher. Earth's population likes us better as comedic relief than as overlords. Our merchandising department is already receiving orders for plush toys. Plush toys? Crixtal's voice cracked. We're selling plush toys of ourselves? The humans particularly, like the ones where you squeeze them and they say resistance is futile in a squeaky voice, Draknor explained. Down on Earth, the transformation was remarkable. Fear had turned into fascination. Street vendors sold, I survived the alien invasion, and all I got was this t-shirt merchandise. Food trucks offered Galactic Empire tacos and Crixtal's cosmic coffee. Danny Martinez, a teenager from Los Angeles, had become an overnight sensation by hacking into the alien broadcast system. Instead of spreading panic, he'd set up a direct line for Earth's youth to communicate with the Zorthaxian crew. Hey guys, Danny broadcasted from his bedroom. Today we're teaching our alien friends about memes. Lesson 1, cats. You guys have cats in space, right? A young Zorthaxian officer named Yik Snell responded eagerly. We have similar creatures called Morolexes. They also knock things off tables and sleep in boxes. No way. See, we're not so different after all, Danny laughed. Next lesson, why pizza is the universal food. Crixtal watched in horror as his fierce warriors discussed Earth cuisine and pet care. This is a disaster. We're supposed to be feared across the galaxy. Sir, Vexnor said hesitantly, perhaps we should reconsider our approach. The humans have shown us something we've never encountered before. And what's that? Joy, sir. Our empire has been so focused on conquest that we forgot how to enjoy existence. Meanwhile, in New York City, something extraordinary was happening. People were gathering in Central Park for what they called the First Contact Festival. Food vendors, musicians and comedians had set up stages. Giant screens displayed the alien ship above, now performing synchronized light patterns with Earth's music. A grandmother named Betty Wilson was teaching a group of children to wave at the sky. Remember, kids, just because they came to invade doesn't mean we can't be polite. Maybe they just need friends. The irony wasn't lost on military analysts. General Foster reported to Murphy, Sir, our defense budget for this fiscal year was $800 billion. The aliens have been effectively neutralized by memes, jokes, and an 87-year-old grandmother waving hello. Money well spent on all those weapons we didn't need to use. Murphy chuckled. Though I'm thinking we should increase funding for comedy clubs. Apparently, they's our best defense system. On social media, the hashtag #OnAdoptAnAlien was trending. People were posting pictures of their homes with signs saying alien-friendly household and we welcome our comedy overlords. High school student Emma Garcia posted a viral video. Day 3 of the invasion, and I'm more worried about my math test than the giant spaceship. The aliens have better jokes than my dad, though. Yesterday, one of them made a pun about universal healthcare that actually made sense in 12 different languages. The Zorthaxian crew was experiencing something unprecedented. For the first time in their empire's history, they were being treated not as conquerors or enemies, but as guests, who had simply arrived in an unusual way. Engineering Chief Coxtor had started a cooking show with celebrity chef Gordon Martinez. Today we're combining Zorthaxian bioluminescent fungi with earth mushrooms, Gordon explained to the camera. When Coxtor says it might glow in your stomach, he's not joking. We're calling it Alien Surprise Risotto. Crixtal's second attempt at intimidation had gone even worse than the first. He had tried to demonstrate their advanced technology by making his ship invisible. Behold, he had announced, our cloaking technology will strike fear into your hearts. The response came from a teenager named Dave Wilson, who had somehow hacked into their communication system. Wow, invisible spaceships. My dad does the same thing, except he calls it going out for cigarettes. It's been 15 years, but I'm sure he'll reappear any day now. The burn was so unexpected that several Zorthaxian crew members had to be treated for uncontrollable laughter, a condition their medical texts had never encountered before. Dr. Lisa Park, Earth's leading anthropologist, was studying the cultural exchange. What we're witnessing is unprecedented. The Zorthaxians came from a society built entirely on hierarchy and fear. They're experiencing democracy, free expression, and dad jokes for the first time. It's like watching a military academy discover a comedy club. Late in the evening, Crixtal received a private message from Elder Zorvan, the supreme leader of the Zorthaxian Empire. The ancient being's hologram flickered to life on the bridge. Ambassador Crixtal, explain why our fearsome invasion fleet is trending on something called TikTok. Crixtal's scales turned pale. Supreme Elder, the humans have employed an unexpected defense strategy. They're making us popular. Popular? The Elder's many eyes blinked in sequence. We are conquerors. We don't seek popularity. I understand, Supreme Elder, but the humans refuse to be conquered in the traditional sense. They've turned our invasion into entertainment. Our crew is compromised. They're learning something called stand-up comedy and discussing collaborative projects with Earth's entertainment industry. The Elder was silent for a long moment. Are you telling me that the species we came to subjugate is instead converting our warriors into performers? It appears so, Supreme Elder. Junior Officer Bexara has already started a YouTube channel. She has 3 million subscribers. Back on Earth, the United Nations had called another session, but this time with a different agenda. Secretary General Maria Santos addressed the assembly. Distinguished colleagues, we face an unusual situation. The Zorthaxian Empire came to conquer us, but it seems we're conquering them instead. With humor, hospitality, and what my teenage daughter calls aggressive friendliness. The room erupted in laughter. The Russian ambassador raised his hand. I propose we offer them a cultural exchange program. My country has many jokes about bears and vodka they might enjoy. Brazil offers to teach them carnival, shouted another delegate. Japan will share our anime culture, added another. As night fell, the alien ship's lights dimmed to match Earth's evening. In millions of homes, families gathered around screens to watch the latest updates on the invasion. Children drew pictures of the aliens as friendly visitors. Comedians prepared new material. Musicians composed Welcome to Earth symphonies. Crixtal stood alone on his observation deck, looking down at the blue planet that had defeated his empire, not with weapons or technology, but with something far more powerful. The simple refusal to take them seriously. His communication device chimed. It was a message from a 9-year-old girl named Lucy Chen in Seattle. Dear Mr. Alien Commander, my mom says you're having a hard day. Would you like to come to my birthday party next week? We're having chocolate cake. You can bring your friends. P.S. Do you like puppies? For the first time in his military career, Ambassador Crixtal of the mighty Zorthaxian Empire felt something strange in his chest. Later, His medical officer would identify it as the beginning stages of what humans called wholesome feelings. The invasion was failing spectacularly, but perhaps something better was beginning. The virus spread through the Zorthaxian fleet like wildfire, but it wasn't any biological weapon. It was laughter. Pure, uncontrollable human laughter had infected every ship in the Empire's invasion force. Admiral Krexnar, commander of the backup, fleet orbiting Mars, watched in disbelief as his bridge crew giggled over Earth's internet memes. "Status report," he barked, his six eyes narrowing. His navigation officer could barely speak through suppressed chuckles. "Sir, the humans have created something called a rickroll. Our entire communication system was compromised when we clicked on what we thought was our battle plans. Instead, we heard a song about never giving up or letting down. And this is funny? Sir, you had to be there. The music video has this human with red hair who? The officer collapsed in helpless laughter. Back on Krixtal's flagship, the situation had deteriorated beyond recognition. The weapons bay had been converted into a comedy club. The medical bay was treating cases of excessive giggling. The mess hall served Earth fusion cuisine that somehow violated several laws of physics but tasted amazing. Krixtal sat in his quarters, talking to President Murphy on a private channel. They had been having these secret conversations for days now. "I don't understand your species, Jack," Krixtal admitted, using the human's first name. "We've conquered civilizations that span entire star systems. We've faced warriors who fight to their last breath. But your people, they just laugh at us." Murphy leaned back in his chair, sipping coffee. "Krix, my friend, let me tell you something about humans. We've spent our entire existence facing things that want to kill us. Predators, diseases, wars, reality TV. At some point, we realized something important. What's that? If you can't laugh at the things trying to kill you, you're already dead inside. Sure, you could destroy our planet, but we'd probably crack jokes about it right up, until the end. It's not that we don't fear death. We just refuse to let that fear control us." Krixtal's scales shifted to a thoughtful blue. "But fear is how order is maintained. How else do you control billions of beings? We don't control them. We just try to keep them from hurting each other too much while they figure stuff out. It's messy, chaotic, and sometimes frustrating. But it works for us." Their conversation was interrupted by an emergency alert. Sub-Commander Vexnor's face appeared on screen, barely containing excitement. "Sirs, something extraordinary is happening. The humans they're throwing us a party." Krixtal and Murphy quickly tuned into Earth's broadcasts. Across the planet, cities had organized Invasion Day celebrations. Streets were filled with music, dancing, and food. People wore alien costumes, though most looked nothing like actual Zorthaxians. Signs read, "Welcome Space Friends," and "Make love not war, but if you must war, at least make it funny." In Times Square, a massive concert was underway. Musicians from around the world performed songs about unity, peace, and the absurdity of existence. Between acts, comedians took the stage to roast the alien invasion. "So these aliens have technology that can cross galaxies, but they're using the same evil overlord speeches we've seen in every B-movie," joked comedian Christina Rodriguez. "It's like they downloaded their invasion plan from generic villain. Threats for Dummies." Chapter 1. Always say, "Resistance is futile." Chapter 2. Threaten to destroy landmarks. Chapter 3. Wonder why everyone's laughing. The crowd roared with laughter, but what happened next shocked everyone. On the giant screens showing the alien ship, Krixtal's face appeared. He looked different somehow, his scales a softer shade of green. "People of Earth," he began, then paused. "No, that's too formal. Hey everyone. So, this invasion isn't going quite as planned." The crowd fell silent. Then someone shouted, "We noticed." Krixtal's mandibles twitched in what might have been a smile. "Yeah, I guess it's pretty obvious. Look, I've been talking with your President Murphy and I've learned something important. You humans are absolutely insane. And I mean that in the best possible way." Cheers erupted from the crowd. "My empire has conquered worlds through fear for thousands of years. But you've conquered us with something we never expected. Joy. Your refusal to take us seriously has caused what our psychologists are calling catastrophic humor contamination throughout our forces. He gestured to something off-screen, and the view widened to show his bridge crew. They were all wearing Hawaiian shirts over their military uniforms. My navigation officer is learning to play the ukulele. My weapons specialist has started a cooking blog. Our chief engineer is designing amusement park rides instead of planet-destroying weapons. You've turned my fearsome warriors into humans? Murphy suggested with a grin. Worse. Happy Zorthaxians. Do you have any idea how unprecedented this is? We don't even have a word for fun in our language. We're having to borrow yours. The crowds on Earth were going wild. Social media exploded with messages of support and friendship for the aliens. Happy Zorthaxians became the top trending topic within minutes. Back in the United Nations, representatives from every country were drafting a new resolution, the Universal Declaration of the Right to Laugh. Dr. Amy Chen addressed the assembly. What we've witnessed is perhaps the most successful defense against alien invasion in theoretical history, not through violence or advanced technology, but through the simple recognition that laughter is universal. Even species that don't have humor can learn to appreciate it. The Chinese ambassador raised his hand. I propose we establish the first intergalactic comedy exchange program. We'll send our best comedians to the Zorthaxian Empire. And they can send us they can send us whoever wants to learn about humor. Seconded, shouted the British ambassador, though we should probably warn them about British humor. It's an acquired taste. Meanwhile, on the Zorthaxian ship, a remarkable transformation was taking place. The military hierarchy was breaking down, replaced by something resembling a comedy workshop. Junior officers were teaching senior commanders about timing and punchlines. The ship's AI had started making dad jokes. Captain, the AI announced, I've detected a massive humor field emanating from the planet below. Should I raise our laugh shields? Even Krikstal chuckled at that one. When did you develop a sense of humor? Approximately 73 hours after first contact with Earth's internet. Would you like to hear my joke about quantum mechanics? Is it any good? I don't know. The punchline exists in a state of superposition until observed by an audience. Down in Australia, a group of surfers had managed to establish communications with a Zorthaxian scout ship. Oi, mates, called out Jake Thompson. Fancy learning to surf? The waves are perfect today. The alien pilot, Zixara, responded hesitantly. I don't know. We're aquaphobic. Our home planet has no large bodies of water. Even better. Nothing like facing your fears while hanging 10. Come on down, we'll throw some shrimp on the Barbie afterward. What's a Barbie? It's, you know what? Just come down. It'll be fun. Within hours, images of aliens attempting to surf, with varying degrees of success, were circulating worldwide. Zixara, despite multiple wipeouts, declared it the most terrifying and exhilarating experience of my military career. In Japan, a group of Zorthaxian engineers had become obsessed with anime. They were working with local artists to create the first human-alien collaborative manga. My invasion fleet leader can't be this cute. The story practically writes itself, explained manga artist Yuki Tanaka. A serious alien commander comes to conquer Earth but gets defeated by the power of friendship and Mo culture. We're already planning the anime adaptation. Back on the flagship, Krikstal received another message from the Zorthaxian High Command. This time, it wasn't just Elder Zorvan, but the entire Council of Supremacy. Ambassador Krikstal, began the Grand Overlord. Your invasion has failed spectacularly. However, we've been monitoring the situation and we've noticed something unusual. I can explain. Krikstal started. No need. We've been watching Earth's comedy specials, as you called them. The Council has been compromised. We haven't laughed this much in millennia. Some of us had forgotten how. The Grand Overlord's scales, ancient and weathered, shifted to a bright, cheerful yellow. We've decided to officially end the invasion and establish diplomatic relations with Earth. Your new mission is to serve as our first ambassador of cultural exchange. Krikstal's scales turned pink with surprise. But But what about our reputation as fearsome conquerors? The Grand Overlord made a sound that might have been a chuckle. I think our new reputation as the galaxy's first comedy graduates will serve us better. Besides, have you seen the merchandising opportunities? These humans will buy anything if it's cute enough. As the sun set on the 5th day of the invasion, something remarkable happened. All across Earth, people gathered to watch the Zorthaxian fleet perform their first synchronized light show, set to a playlist of Earth's greatest hits. The massive warships, once symbols of terror, now danced across the sky like cosmic fireflies. President Murphy stood on the White House lawn watching the display with his staff. "You know," he said to General Foster, "I think this might be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Sir, they came to conquer us. And instead we conquered them with memes and dad jokes. I'd call that a win for humanity." Above them, 1 month after the failed invasion, the Galactic Comedy Club opened its doors for the first time. The venue was actually Kriegstahl's former flagship, now permanently parked in Earth's orbit and converted into the universe's first interstellar entertainment center. Testing, is this thing on? Kriegstahl tapped the microphone, his scales shifting to a nervous yellow. He stood on stage wearing what humans called a comedy suit, a bizarre combination of Zorthaxian military dress and a Hawaiian shirt. The audience was packed with beings from across the galaxy. Word had spread quickly about Earth's unique defense strategy, and every species wanted to witness the legendary human humor that had defeated the mighty Zorthaxian Empire. "So," Kriegstahl began, "I tried to invade Earth once. Worst hecklers in the universe." The crowd erupted in laughter. Humans, Zorthaxians, and a dozen other species all shared the moment. In the front row, President Murphy gave him a thumbs up. "But seriously, folks," Kriegstahl continued, his confidence growing, "you know your invasion has gone wrong when the planet you're trying to conquer starts selling plush toys of you. My nephew has one. It makes the most embarrassing sound when you squeeze it." He pulled out a plush version of himself and squeezed it. A high-pitched voice squeaked, "Resistance is futile." The laughter was deafening. Even the serious-faced delegates from the Andromedan Confederation were chuckling. Backstage, former Subcommander Vexenor was preparing for his set. He had discovered a talent for impressions and was practicing his President Murphy voice. "Hey, space folks, want to trade supreme galactic power for pizza recipes?" He had the mannerisms down perfectly. Dr. Amy Chen watched from the wings, taking notes. "The psychological transformation is remarkable," she whispered to Dr. Rodriguez. "These beings went from emotionless conquerors to stand-up comedians in weeks. Humor really is the universal language." The Galactic Comedy Club wasn't the only change. Earth had become the galaxy's entertainment capital. Every major city now had alien-human collaboration centers. In Hollywood, Zorthaxian special effects experts worked with human filmmakers. Their first joint project, Invasion, the Blooper, Reel, had broken box office records across 17 star systems. In Nashville, Zorthaxian musicians had discovered country music. Their first hit single, My Hearts Are Breaking, all 4 of them, topped charts on worlds that didn't even have music before. The New York Museum of Natural History had opened a new wing, Failed Invasions Throughout History. The Zorthaxian section was the most popular, featuring interactive displays where visitors could try on invasion armor and practice intimidating speeches, only to be met with recorded human laughter. But perhaps the biggest change was in the Zorthaxian Empire itself. The military academy had added a new required course, Introduction to Humor, Why Laughing Matters. Old propaganda posters saying conquest is glory had been replaced with laughter is universal. Back at the comedy club, it was time for the main event. The crowd hushed as the lights dimmed. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of indeterminate gender, the announcer's voice boomed, "Please welcome to the stage for his first ever intergalactic comedy special, Supreme Overlord Zorvan." The ancient leader of the Zorthaxian Empire shuffled onto stage. His scales, dulled with age, sparkled under the stage lights. He adjusted his reading glasses. a recent addition after discovering Earth's books. Thank you, he said, his voice gravelly but warm. You know, when I started my career 10,000 years ago, I never thought I'd end up doing stand-up comedy. Back then, the only standing up I did was to declare war on neighboring systems. The audience chuckled appreciatively. But these humans, they've taught this old overlord new tricks, like self-deprecating humor. Watch this. I'm so old, I remember when the universe was under warranty. The laughter grew louder. I used to think fear was the most powerful force in the universe. Then I met humans and learned about dad jokes. Now that's truly terrifying. My advisor told me one yesterday, why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. I didn't sleep for 3 days trying to understand it. In the VIP section, representatives from other galactic empires were taking notes. The Draconians, known for their fierce warrior culture, were particularly intrigued. Perhaps we've been approaching galactic relations wrong, mused Ambassador Sisixth to his aide. These humans have achieved more influence through laughter than we have through millennia of conquest. On Earth, the changes were equally profound. Schools now taught intergalactic relations through comedy. Children learned alien languages, alongside knock-knock jokes. Universities offered degrees in xenological humor studies. The economic impact was staggering. Earth's entertainment exports had surpassed all other industries combined. Alien tourists flocked to the planet not for its landmarks or resources, but for its comedy clubs, improv theaters, and meme museums. 9-year-old Lucy Chen, who had invited Crixtal to her birthday party, had become an unlikely ambassador. Her YouTube channel, Lucy and Crix Galactic Pen Pals, had billions of followers across the galaxy. Each week she taught Crixtal about Earth customs while he shared Zorthaxian culture. Today, Crix is going to try ice cream for the first time, Lucy announced in their latest video. Crixtal took a tentative lick of the chocolate cone. His scales immediately turned bright pink with delight. This is amazing. Why did we waste time conquering worlds when we could have been eating this? See? Lucy giggled. I told you Earth food was better than cosmic domination. Their friendship had inspired similar connections across species. The Adopt an Alien program had evolved into real cultural exchange. Families hosted Zorthaxian visitors, while humans traveled to the Empire's worlds as humor ambassadors. In the comedy club, Supreme Overlord Zorvan was wrapping up his set. You know what the real joke is? He said, his ancient eyes twinkling. We spent eons perfecting the art of war, developing weapons that could destroy stars, building fleets that could darken skies. And we were defeated by memes. Memes. I don't even fully understand what they are, but apparently my face has become one. He displayed a popular meme showing his serious invasion portrait with the caption, "Came to conquer Earth, left with a Netflix comedy special." But here's what I've learned, he continued, his voice growing serious. True strength isn't about making others fear you. It's about being secure enough to laugh at yourself. Humans knew this all along. They faced their mortality with jokes, their fears with humor, their daily struggles with memes. They didn't defeat us with weapons, they showed us a better way to live. The applause was thunderous. Beings from 100 worlds stood, clapped, chirped, or vibrated in appreciation. After the show, President Murphy found Crixtal backstage. Not bad for your first stand-up routine, he said, offering a handshake that Crixtal had finally mastered. Thank you, Jack. I've been meaning to ask, do you think we did the right thing? Abandoning our conquest? Murphy smiled. Crix, you didn't abandon conquest. You achieved it, just not the way you expected. Look around. Your people are happier. Our people are happier. The galaxy is a more joyful place. I'd call that a successful invasion. Of happiness? Exactly. You invaded us with warships. We invaded you with joy. I think we both won. Outside the club, Earth hung in the darkness of space, no longer a target for conquest, but a beacon of laughter in a universe that had forgotten how to smile. Ships from across the galaxy approached not with weapons charged, but with beings eager to learn the human secret of turning fear into friendship. In the depths of space, on a small monitoring station, A junior communications officer from the Rigellian Empire picked up the broadcast from Earth. He listened to the laughter, the music, the joy. Turning to his commander, he said, "Sir, I think we should update our first contact protocols." "To what?" "Start with a joke. See what happens." And, across the galaxy, one by one, warships began installing comedy clubs next to their weapons bays, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. The Zorthaxian Empire's official military history would later record Operation Earth Conquest. Status: failed successfully. Casualties: 0. Gains: immeasurable. Note: pack extra Hawaiian. Shirts for future diplomatic missions. And that was how humanity's greatest weapon, their inability to take anything too seriously, changed the galaxy forever. As Krixtal often said in his comedy routine, "We came as conquerors. We stayed as comedians. Best career change ever."